Welcome to How to Build a Lifestyle Business Part 3, People. In this video, I'm going to focus on how you organize the people in your business. And I don't just mean the talent that you hire, your employees, your independent contractors, but really all the people that you ultimately have relationships with in service of your business vision and mission. So one of the greatest reasons to partner with people is obviously to leverage your time, your energy, and your talent, and to grow your business. And that's all well and good, and we will talk about that in this video. But I also want to emphasize the importance of how people impact your joy and your experience of your business. And in fact, personally, I believe that that is the biggest reason to get strategic and intentional about the people that you're going to work with. It's not so much for growth and for outcomes, although those are important and they will happen, but it's mostly because you're going to spend time with these people, your employees, your contractors, your vendors, your clients. Everybody that you're going to interact with is a person that you're investing your valuable time and energy in. And isn't it better to invest your valuable time and energy with people and relationships that bring you higher, that bring you more energy, that bring you joy and fulfillment? So in this video, I'm going to share with you a few strategies that you can use to really make sure that the people that you're investing your time with are people that you enjoy and that are going to add value to the business. Now, before I dive into that, I do want to share a little bit about my story that I think is helpful. So about 7-8 years ago, after when I had my big old breakdown in my business and I started working with my new mentor, I was doing it alone. I had been in the business now 7.5, almost 8 years, and I was all alone. I was the lone wolf. I was carrying the whole business on my shoulders. I did all of the outreach. I did all of the sales. I did all the marketing, all the branding. I made my own websites. There wasn't anything I didn't do in the business. And I remember working with my mentor and going to one of his retreats and spending the weekend where the entire theme of the weekend was crew. All about who's in the boat, rowing the boat with you. And I remember being super triggered in this event because I didn't have anybody rowing the boat with me. It was me, myself, and I. I had recently hired an independent contractor named Tammy. And Tammy, I had hired her because she was really smart, really efficient, and really cheap. And while I was in that experience that weekend, one of the things that I recognized was that if I want people to be my crew, then that means I have to be crew for them too. Which means, if we think about the analogy of rowing the boat, that it means that we're rowing the boat in the same direction, that we are together, we're in it together. Your needs are my needs. 1 + 1 = 11. It means that we speak the unspoken to each other. Now, when I thought about my relationship with Tammy, it was really clear that we were not crew. I was not transparent with her because I was trying to protect myself. I didn't feel safe. I didn't want her to take advantage and think I had too much money so that she would try to get more out of me. So I wasn't speaking the unspoken. I wasn't being transparent. I certainly didn't feel like her needs were my needs. In fact, we were at odds. Like if she wanted to take a day off, I might get resentful, like, oh, you're not going to work today, right? So I wasn't worried or taking care of her as a human, as a person. And so ultimately we weren't in crew together. In fact, in a lot of ways, we were kind of at odds with each other. And I realized this that weekend. I was like, oh my God, no wonder I don't feel supported because I'm not supporting her. So my big breakthrough that weekend was I was going to come back from this weekend and I was going to let her know how much I valued her. I was going to share with her what the vision that I wanted to create with my business, and I wanted her to be a part of it, and I was going to take the first step. I was going to trust first. I was going to lay my cards out on the table and say, listen, I want you to come on board. I want to pay for you. I want to pay a retainer. I want to bring you in as an employee. I want to help you, and I want to be a way for you to get your needs met, not just for me to get my needs met. This was a total game changer for me, and let me be clear. I didn't have the money or the revenue, I didn't think I did anyways, to hire her. But I did it anyways. I took a leap of faith and I trusted that if I did this, then I was going to get way more out of her. And I was right. our relationship transformed. Tammy started working extra hard. She started showing up in a new way. She was more dogged about our contracts and our sales than even I was. She was combing through our numbers and recognizing things that were missing or mistaken. She was looking through contracts and like, hey, Michelle, this isn't good for you. We need to go back to this person and get them to change this contract. Like, she was so all in because of this shift in the way that I showed up with her. So I tell you this because in your business, you want to really bring in the people that you want to be in crew with. Right? You don't want to just bring in anybody because they're cheap or because they can do the job, but really asking yourself the question, is this person an aligned fit? Am I going to bring them in and really have their needs be my needs and my needs be their needs? Are we really going to be able to create crew together? Okay, so here are the exercises I want you to think about. The first one is go ahead and list 20 people that are the closest to you in the world. Or let me put that another way. The 20 people who influence you the most. Now, there may be some obvious people like your wife or your husband might influence you the most. And some less obvious things. You might not realize it, but your children, no matter how young they are, they probably influence you too. Your parents, your siblings, your best friends, your employees, your partners. Just list out the 20 people who influence you the most. And if there are more than 20 people, by all means, write the other people as well. So I'm going to go ahead and put me on pause while you write down your list and then come back here and I'll walk you through what to do next. Okay, so we're back. So you've written down your 20 people, but before we move on, I do want to take this opportunity to invite you to like my video, subscribe to my channel, and maybe even post a comment below. Okay, you've got your 20 people or more. Now I want you to go back through that list, and next to each person, you're going to put an E or an A. You're going to put an E if they're an engine, and you're going to put an A if they're an anchor. I want to do a definition and also a caveat. Engine means it's someone that's driving you forward. Anchor means it's someone that's holding you back. Now, it doesn't matter what their intention is, only what the actual impact of their influence is. In other words, my parents really wanted me to get ahead. They absolutely would say that they were engines in my life 7-8 years ago. But the actual net influence that they had on me, because they were so focused on safety and security and they got so nervous every time I did something new, the net of their influence was actually, to me, it felt more like an anchor than an engine. So it doesn't matter if they have the best of intentions. It doesn't matter if they're an amazing human. It doesn't matter if you love them. All that matters is the net of their impact on your growth and development in your business and your life. Are they an engine driving you forward? Do they see that highest and best version of you? Do they call that version of you forward? Or are they telling you to be careful, hang back, don't do that thing, be smaller, be safer, whatever it is? So once you've gone through all the people and you've done E or A, go ahead and put me on pause if you want to and go do that. And you've decided, I want you to take a look at the big picture. How many E's do you have? How many A's do you have? What are you noticing here as you look at this list of people? Are you fairly supported? Do you feel like you have a lot of engines in your life, or are you feeling like you have a lot of anchors holding you back? Just something to notice, to look at the state of affairs currently. Now, I can tell you personally that when I first did this exercise back then, I think I did it in that retreat 7 or 8 years ago, I was shocked at how many people in my life, whether it was real or perceived, I felt were holding me back and anchoring me. Versus today, if I did that exercise now, I'm going to guess that 18, if not 19 or 20 of the people that are closest to me are engines driving me forward. Second thing to look at is those relationships, how can you transform them? If you have a series of anchors, you might want to think about doing a few things. The first thing you could do is you could create a boundary. Meaning, this is what I did with my parents, and they don't know it. I hope they're not watching this video. I created a boundary, which looked like this. I made a decision to only start sharing with my parents my wins. I stopped sharing with them my plans. I'm a creator. I'm a star creator. I love to ideate. I love, oh my God, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to create this event, and I'm going to go to Egypt, and I'm going to, all the things that I'm going to do. And oh my God, Egypt, it's so dangerous there. You can't go, right? Zip, I don't share those anymore. All I do is say, hey, I'm leaving for Egypt tomorrow. If you want to get in touch with me, this is how you do it. right? Or I was in Egypt last week, here are my pictures, right? I'm safe, I'm here. I started to share with them only the outcomes and the results. I would share with them the newspaper article that came out about me, or I would share with them the prize that I won instead of saying, oh, I think I'm gonna apply for this prize. And it really transformed my relationship with my parents. My parents went from being doubters and people that were always looking at the negative or the scary or the thing, they became promoters. My dad says that my mom didn't stop talking about me. She was bragging to everybody, oh, my daughter is this, and she did that, and she did it, and she's in this paper, and here's her business card. She started carrying my business cards around in her purse. She never did that before. And I firmly believe it's because I created this boundary and this new way of relating to them where I was only focused on, here, I already did this. The next thing you want to do is look at, once you've done engines and anchors and you're transforming the relationship with the people in there from anchors into engines, you might want to look at what's missing in your business or your team. Where is your best area of focus? If you're a star creator, for example, probably your best area of focus is developing new marketing strategies and promotional strategies from your business. And because I know you, because I am you, I'm going to guess that one of the areas of struggle is in the sales and the follow-up process and in the support area where people get ongoing support, like people get followed up with, they get tracked. I'm guessing. Maybe, maybe not. But if that is the case, then you might want to look at, all right, what would it look like for someone else to fill this role? What are the tasks? What are the job attributes? What are the skills? What are the values that this person would need to exhibit in order to support that? And just start to flesh out what a role could look like. Be very careful. One of the things that I see happen and that I've done again and again and again is meeting someone, falling in love with them, and then trying to create a role for them. I know, it's so tempting. I've done it so many times. And chances are, not always, but oftentimes what it is often the people that we're attracted to are just like us. And they often have the exact same or very close skill sets, and a lot of times the exact same weaknesses. I can't tell you how many times I see this, two people trying to partner together that are too similar, and they're going to overlap too much. So I really encourage you and invite you to think about the roles first before you go out and try to attract people to fill those roles. Now, one thing I invite you to do is go back to my Wealth Dynamics video and watch how I talk about what roles to fill based on your Wealth Dynamics profile. If you're in my Superstar Business Breakthrough Program, and I know you're watching, that's a really good video to watch as you're thinking about the roles that you want to fill in your business. So I invite you to go back to that one unless you remember it really well and know exactly what you're looking for. So here are some things you might want to think about. Think about roles in your business, like employees, independent contractors, like you might want an assistant, a salesperson, a project manager, a bookkeeper, an accountant. These are all roles that I'm a big fan of outsourcing. And you also want to think about the fact that not everyone needs to be a paid employee or an independent contractor. What do I mean by that? Well, I have a client, Keith Kohler. He's a financing man. He works in the space of financing. And he's done all of his marketing, pretty much all of his marketing, based on a partnership and referral strategy. So instead of thinking about going out and finding clients, he doesn't really do that. He thinks about going out and finding referral streams, the people that know his clients and that can bring his clients to him. Now, I don't actually know if he pays these people commission. I actually don't think he does, but he might. But ultimately, instead of him paying for an employee or a contractor to go out and find him business, he's essentially recruiting and enrolling fans, people that are counterparts to him, that are colleagues who know his client but don't actually serve his clients in the same way he does so that they can bring them into his business. So think about the fact that you can create strategic alliances and bring people into your business without actually bringing them into your business. All right, that's it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please check out some of my other videos. And if you're in my Superstar Business Breakthrough Program, I cannot wait to see you in person.